about getting her proof copy and wandering around town.
Tachos tacos. Can you see my new labia?
That's a place, right? Tachos Tacos?
Yeah. Can't get anything past you.
I don't think I've ever... I may have eaten... Is it the one over on the way to Naco?
Highway, yeah.
Yeah, it's the one you turn and you're like, ooh, that's open? Not the one on before the turn.
No, that's... I don't even know the name of that.
It's like someone's house.
Yeah.
It's you're like
It's been like 3 Mexican restaurants in a row where they just keep changing the name.
Yeah, well, all the gear stays there. They don't even have to resupply.
Well, no, there was in between. There was a flower shop or a gift shop at some point. You know that shop where you know it's some retired dentist's wife who wants a project, and he's like, "Oh, this is gonna fucking wind up poorly." Yeah, it's like a flower shop. In fact, I think I heard from one of my inside sources at the Safeway that they were selling flowers that Safeway, because it's right beside Safeway.
They border the same parking lot.
Yeah, they get the ones that Safeway's throwing away. I don't know if they literally got them out of the dumpster.
The dumpster is in between their building and Safeway.
It's something like that. I don't know if it's a flower shop or a bakery, but they had some kind of inside move, is what I heard.
But that's hardly a bad thing.
We should do just a page 6 Bisbee gossip podcast. We'll be the TMZ of Bisbee.
Isn't that the police beat already, kind of?
Well, they should have like what the Bisbee Observer is missing. It's like what the New Times, they used to always have like New Timesy kind of magazines where they'd actually go out and photograph like people at all the hot clubs. So you'd always go out. When we were in Phoenix, they had something like that where they'd have someone taking pictures at all the hot clubs. And then you'd go out and grab the paper to see if they actually used your photo.
Oh, the free weekly that they have in the...
Right.
Vintage stores and the
So what you're saying
shops.
is we should do like a TMZ for Bisbee where we focus on the local personalities, like coming out of our or your thrift store and be like in their face about, oh, what you got there? What you got there, Sharon from checkout aisle 5 in Safeway? You got so...
Or you just spot Margot talking to like Alex O'Mara at the Grand and go, is romance
fireworks or duds?
See, local author Alex O'Mara chumming it up with local legend Margot. Arm candy or something more?
Arm candy.
We actually, when we first moved here, Father Luke was with us, and he built a website called the Bisbee Taint, and we were just going to make it all sorts of scurrilous gossip about Bisbeeites, like over the top, like Onion-esque, but just
local.
Inside,
yeah,
because no one knew us. So,
unfortunately, the police beat is kind of makes Bisbee beyond parody almost.
Well, they write it with a kind of a through line.
Yeah, they know what they're writing.
Yeah.
But the rest of the paper has no humor to it
Correct.
whatsoever.
None, yeah.
And there's really nothing. I mean, they'll list events, but there's no like art scene kind of. It's a very conservative. Not even conservative. What's the word?
Bland.
It's
Yeah.
just here's some things. The Bisbee Unified School District voted this.
It's very like what's the Scottish word I'd use is dour. You know,
dour.
Dour?
Yeah, dour. It's like there's like, yes, I'm an artist. Yes, it's very important to be an artist.
A local artist just moved back to town. Yeah. There'll be but to go out and have like one page of just like fist fights at Elmo's, like, but with photographs and so-and-so's local celebrity, meaning, someone everyone knows.
Yeah.
One-legged Charlie vomited behind the dumpster, and then just show the one leg sticking out from behind the dumpster.
I guess we could do that even without a one-leg Charlie. We just need one leg.
I mean, there's a million characters like
I can get
that
us a
now.
leg.
I'm using that as an example, but
I think it's funnier just to make up characters.
We could dress up Derek like a 1930s, reporter with the hat and the card. Just send them around.
Gumshoe.
Yeah.
we could get an old camera with a flash bulb.
With the magnesium.
Yeah.
They still sell them new downtown Bisbee.
There's a warranty. Yeah. Comes with a warranty card. Fill it out.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I want to reinvent that whole, but then we'd have to write the fucking thing.
Yeah, there is the work end of it.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier, this part of it.
Well, I am,
Brainstorming.
I'll be flying around without Chaille now, so you have lots of free time in your future.
Working on the new website. I showed some of it to
Oh, that's right.
Hennigan.
Yeah, you did show that
it's
to me.
very impressive. I don't want to get anyone overexcited, but it's a very major improvement.
Has the home address on the home page.
No vacancy.
Bingo, yesterday, Bingo's here in the background, not feeling real chatty, but she got the hard copy, proof copy, is it called?
Proof
Brian?
copy.
New local author spotted at the FunHouse. Will she get on the mic? It could be our...
But somehow in the proof, which is why you have a proof to go through it, she noticed at the beginning where it would say, all the bullshit.
forward or the
Copyright
details.
and all
Copyright,
that.
yeah.
Library
it had
of
a
Congress.
Copyright, and it said Amy Bingaman with the address and her cell phone number. Thank God she's...
Whoever reads that part.
well, that's all there is.
The crazy people.
You can't
Check
put
and
her cell
check.
phone number in there.
Well,
So, yeah, that's why we have the proof.
that's why we changed it. There's no number
but the
in
reason
there.
she had the proof, she screamed when Father Luke was here, when we first moved here. He was here for 6 months, and he built her a website. And this is back when she was bald and like really out of her tit, and built her a website. And we came home from wherever we were, and he turns his laptop to her, and it's a picture of her on the front, and it's amybingaman.com, and she goes, "Look, I'm on TV. I'm on TV." And, yeah, your boobs were out. Look, my boobs are on TV. But that's what she did yesterday when she finally got a hard copy of her book. She just went downtown and just walked up and down trying to find anyone she knew. Look. She has it in a box wrapped up and would present it to people. Guess what? And they'd have to unwrap it.
She basically did what everyone on Facebook does with the places they go to, but in your face. Yeah, it was very good.
Well, she only has the one.
Uh-huh.
There's only the one proof. So she would tell people, "I got this for you." And then they'd go, "Oh," and
then she'd say, "Don't touch it."
yeah. And then she'd say, no. I only have one. It wasn't really for you.
I didn't show everybody.
That's why I said it. You can sit there. You don't have to chime in for the whole podcast. But when
I didn't show everybody on the street, for Christ's sake.
I said anyone you knew, you're looking for people you know.
I called everybody down to St. Elmo's and I bought them all a drink. And then I showed everybody.
Pay to play.
It's efficient.
Yeah. Did you make them get their phone out and order a fucking book?
It's a bringer gig.
Oh.
You have to pay people to look at your book.
So can you order it now?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So
Soon.
you'll find out. Get on the mailing list. I would assume that would
Yeah,
probably
get on the
be.
fucking mailing list.
I still get people every time I post dates. So we're doing it's Baltimore, Austin, the All Things Comedy Podcast Comedy Festival in Phoenix, and then back to regular gigs with
Seattle.
Portland.
Philly, Seattle, San Francisco, Portland, not in that order,
Yeah.
but all coming up, DC. And I post that, and it's invariably, when are you coming to Atlanta? We just did fucking Atlanta. When are you coming to Houston? We just did Houston.
How come you're never in Florida? Jesus, we couldn't get out of Florida.
what I find bizarre is I'll be sitting at my computer and occasionally I'll go to a gig And I've just never felt compelled to interact with the artists that I want to see. Like I've never.
At a show.
I'm a huge fan of certain bands, like New Order, the Kite String Tangle, people like this, and I've never once thought I'm going to ask them in public when they're
About getting her proof copy, wandering around town.
Tachos tacos. And see my new labia.
That's a place, right? Tachos Tacos?
Yeah.
Can't get anything past you.
I don't think I've ever... I may have eaten... Is it the one over on the way to
Naco
Naco?
Highway, yeah.
Yeah, it's the one you turn and you're like, oh, that's open? Not the one on before the turn.
No, that's... I don't even know the name of that.
It's like someone's house.
Yeah.
It's you're like
It's been like 3 Mexican restaurants in a row where they just keep changing the name.
yeah. Well, all the gear stays there. They don't even have to resupply.
Well, no, there was in between. There was a flower shop or a gift shop at some point. You know that shop where it's some retired dentist's wife who wants a project, and he's like, this is gonna fucking wind up poorly. Yeah, it's like a flower shop. In fact, I think I heard from one of my inside sources at the Safeway that they were selling flowers that Safeway, because it's right beside Safeway.
They border the same parking lot.
Yeah, they get the ones that Safeway's throwing away. I don't know if they literally got them out of the dumpster.
The dumpster is in between their building and Safeway.
It's something like that. I don't know if it's a flower shop or a bakery, but they had some kind of inside move, is what I heard.
But that's hardly a bad thing.
We should do just a page 6 Bisbee gossip podcast. We'll be the TMZ of Bisbee.
Isn't that the police beat already, kind of?
Well, they should have like what the Bisbee Observer is missing is like what the New Times. They used to always have like New Timesy kind of magazines where they'd actually go out and photograph like people at all the hot clubs. So you'd always go out. When we were in Phoenix, they had something like that where they'd have someone taking pictures at all the hot clubs, and then you'd go out and grab the paper to see if they actually used your photo.
Oh, the free weekly that they have in the vintage stores and the
So what you're saying
shops.
is we should do like a TMZ for Bisbee where we focus on the local personalities, like coming out of our or your thrift store and be like in their face about, what you got there? What you got there, Sharon from checkout aisle 5 in Safeway? You got so
or you just spot Margot talking to like Alex O'Mara at the Grand and go, is romance
fireworks or duds?
See, local author Alex O'Mara chumming it up with local legend Margot. Arm candy or something more?
Arm candy.
We actually, we when we first moved here, Father Luke was with us, and he built a website called the Bisbee Taint, and we were just going to make it all sorts of scurrilous gossip about Bisbeeites. Like over the top, like Onion-esque, but just
local.
Inside.
Yeah.
Because no one knew us. So.
Unfortunately, the police beat is kind of makes Bisbee beyond parody almost.
Well, they write it with a kind of a through line.
Yeah, they know what they're writing.
Yeah.
But the rest of the paper has no humor to it
Correct.
whatsoever.
None, yeah.
And there's really nothing. I mean, they'll list events, but there's no like art scene kind of it. It's a very conservative, not even conservative. What's the word?
Bland.
It's
Yeah.
just, here's some things. The Bisbee Unified School District voted this.
It's very like, what's the Scottish word I'd use is dour. You know,
dour.
Dour?
Yeah, dour.
Dour.
It's like there's like, yes, I'm an artist. Yes, it's very important to be an
Yeah, a
artist.
local artist just moved back to town.
Yeah.
There'll be But to go out and have like one page of just like fist fights at Elmo's, like, but with photographs and so and so's local celebrity, meaning someone everyone knows.
Yeah.
One-legged Charlie vomited behind the dumpster, and then just show the one leg sticking out from behind the dumpster.
I guess we could do that even without a one-leg Charlie. We just need one leg.
I mean, there's a million characters like
I can get
that
us a
now.
leg.
I'm using that as an example, but
I think it's funnier just to make up characters.
We could dress up Derek like a 1930s, reporter with the hat and the card. Just send them around.
Gumshoe.
Yeah.
we could get an old camera with a flash bulb.
With the magnesium.
Yeah.
They still sell them new downtown Bisbee.
There's a warranty. Yeah. Comes with a warranty card. Fill it out.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I want to reinvent that whole, but then we'd have to write the fucking thing.
Yeah, there is the work end of it.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier, this part of it.
Well, I am,
brainstorming.
I'll be flying around without Chaille now, so you have lots of free time in your future.
Working on the new website. I showed some of it to
Oh, that's right.
Hennigan.
Yeah, you did show that
it's
to me.
very impressive. I don't want to get anyone overexcited, but
Yeah.
it's a very major improvement.
Has the home address on the home page.
No vacancy.
Bingo, yesterday, Bingo's here in the background, not feeling real chatty, but she got the hard copy proof copy your email address and said you name checked me on your last podcast because I was promoting her book, which is great. She goes, "Hey, I'll come to Arizona and do the podcast gladly." I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" So
Pod calling works.
pod calling works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mishka, I think, just wanted to say, "Hey, he called you a cunt on this podcast." When you read the book, you'll see towards the end, junkie turned sober, but she's even said in the book that she fucked 1 million comics. So I want to wrench some names out of her.
Chuckle fucker. Is that what they
No, I
were
thought
throwing around?
I thought it was clown fucker.
Clown fucker. Well, there are clowns.
She's definitely a great podcast. As far as she's sober now, but still. Her past. The problem is I don't want it to be a Bert Kreischer podcast in that where you go, wow, I got a great story. I'll tell you afterwards.
Right.
Like I want to pry her for names, but I'll do. I've worked it through in my head. All right, how many comics at this festival?
Oh, and then you can ask. It's like 20 questions without her knowing it's actually 20 questions.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of the format we have here that, a little bit behind the curtain. We sit around and drink and try to talk a little bit, but without too many details because we want to talk about it on the podcast. But there is a little bit of pre-interviewing going on, just as all of us hanging around, having a drink, smoking, talking about whatever's happening.
There is a difference between telling the story and not using the name rather than just saying, I can't even tell you the story.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I know someone who did some fucked up shit. I'll tell you right after this. That's why you should be at the All Things Comedy Podcast Comedy Festival in Phoenix, October 26th through 29th. Because if you're there live, probably tell you as soon as we cut off the mics.
Or you can't bleep what's coming straight out the mic. If we ever have to bleep anything or cut anything that doesn't make it to the final because someone had buyer's remorse, that's what you hear on the end. But sitting live, you get the full story. There's no fucking
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have some kind of release form or not a release, but a non-disclosure. What you hear here, you cannot repeat unless it made the final cut.
Well, that's hearsay, right?
It's hearsay.
No, there's fuck, you put me on the spot here. There's a long-standing, of course, phrase that you use if you're doing a meeting like that, and you say this meeting's being conducted under such and such a rule, and that means that if you stay in the room, you are bound by that rule.
That's
which basically is that you're
That's
not
the AA rule.
Yeah, you're not allowed to report what people say in that.
What
room.
you hear here, what you say here, let it stay here.
Henceforth, on this podcast and throughout the universe, that is the Doug Stanhope podcast policy.
It's don't be a fucking narc.
Yeah, don't be a narc.
I've since the advent of cell phone cameras.
Oh, the fact that everyone walks around with a movie camera with them.
It really was. There was an internal drop off in what I could say on stage. When I started, I could just tell you anything on stage. And there was such an AA / lawyer client confidentiality where, yeah, I can talk about all this personal shit to an audience and you're not going to be able to turn around and tell anyone because you don't know any of my friends. There's no Twitter. You just say something to an audience. It's just like an AA meeting. There's no AA meeting with a bunch of people with fucking cell phone cameras. Yeah. It's kind of a unwritten rule. You just, but it's not.
Well, the AA, it is a rule. But in comedy back before everyone had recording devices.
It's a really funny idea.
What?
Go to AA meetings and film them. Bootleg AA meetings. like what kind of a fucking dick would do that? But most people don't have an act like mine where they're telling you a bunch of things that you don't want to get out. This is just you.
Yeah.
You paid $35 to hear the fucking truth. Can't we just make this a family? But I don't know who coined that term, Twitter rat. So I remember we listened to someone's podcast about people who try to drum up, oh, so-and-so said shit about you either at a show or on another podcast, and they want to start the fucking shit. Hey, Jay Moore, fucking Stanhope said this, or fuck.
So they're like inciting some kind of beef between you and a person?
They're not involved.
Yeah.
But they want to start the beef. Did you hear the shit?
Yeah.
That's why I don't Google search my own name. I don't want to hear shit. And I have fans. Oh, hey, someone said shit about you at the fucking 58-minute mark. Well, I don't want to know that. That's why I live down here. I don't want to know people hate me.
Or worse still, when they sit there, the problem is that most of the time they don't give you the 58-minute mark. We have to find it and sit through some rancid fucking podcast because we've been told that at some point in that podcast, Steven Spielberg opened the door, shouted, Doug Stanhope's a cunt, and then closed it. So, yeah, that's the problem.
Well, that's not a problem for me because I'm too lazy.
Yeah, he would never do it.
I would
That's
not
the thing.
sit
I
know, but I'll see some tweet trend, or not trend, like somebody will be like, oh, did you hear what fucking Mark Maron said about you? And then we have to, okay, let's see what Mark Maron said. And it'll be nothing. You know, it'll just be.
By the way, Mark Maron nor Steven Spielberg said shit about me.
I know.
Unfortunately.
Not at the 58-minute mark.
You have to listen to their entire
Whole thing.
1,000 episode catalog. I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to promote in the book. I'm going to have to ask people to be on their podcast, and I don't want to do that. I'll ask Rogan, and even that's terrifying. Like, what if they say no? I'm not going to ask Maron. Although Maron is in the book.
You did it on the last one. You did Maron.
I know, but I don't think he wanted me there. But everyone thinks Maron doesn't want them there.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure.
That's just kind of the vibe he puts out.
Yeah, but Maron, I do name drop Maron in the book, and I'd be curious. I'd send him a fucking a pre-read with a Post-it.
On his page?
The 164 page mark.
The 58-minute mark.
To see if he remembers that.
Well, that would be good then, because then if it is something where he actually has an opinion about what you wrote, then that would be good for the audiobook.
But it's also, that's like, I don't know if it's a chapter or a chunk of things I can't talk about. This never happened is basic. I think that's the name of the chapter. This never happened and that never happened. I can't talk about this. Shit I can't legally talk about or morally because of I can't drop the name.
You put
I bet he remembers that night where he goes, "Are you okay?" And I go, and I was about to say something, and either you or Hennigan walked by and gave me the no, and I said, it's just been a weird night. And he goes, "What's a weird night to you?"
That was Hennigan.
Save it for the book, Stanhope.
But you covered a lot of that in the foreword, I noticed. Tracy and I are reading the one of the advanced copies. Great titles, by the way. And the foreword, you do cover, like, you do have to change stuff and the lawyers and stuff like that.
Well, every book you write, you have to change names.
Well, some people don't mention that. And also about the whole thing. Well, it's good. It sets it up perfectly because it is fucking road story. We were talking about this last time, or we were talking about how do I respond to people who ask me what the book is about. And road stories is what you said. And that's clearly what it is. It's great. But those fucking titles are epic.
There's a lot of stuff.
It took a long time on the titles. The titles seem like it was as much as writing the book because
well, that's one of the most fun things about putting out a new special is track titles. And, I think it was probably Beer Hall Putsch where I just went over the top because I like long titles, whether it's a book or the mother book.
Yeah, you're very prog rock.
I like extensive titles.
Wasn't it Fiona Apple had that one that was like 50 words long? Her title to her album.
You like having long titles.
I know, but you're all about marketing. Where you go?
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. But no, it's because when you go on Amazon.com, it will cut it off at some point.
No, it's not me that ever. It's me. It's not me. That's the joy.
You're the
joy
go-between.
kill on that. It's the fucking publishing supremos.
He's the messenger.
Yeah.
But there was one where I just made every track title I could as long as possible. Shit pussy was the Keynesian economic theory as applied to. And it goes on from there.
Yeah, that was a great title. That's still one of my favorite bits.
I had to go back and listen to. I listened from across the street, which was 2009, through Oslo, and I still have two left. The last two, Beer Hall Putsch, and which is excruciating. Any comic will tell you to go back, but this new set that I'm working on, there's been a few times where I go, I kind of think I did this bit already. So I listened to From Across the Street, Oslo, Before Turning the Gun, and now I still got to listen to Beer Hall Putsch and the last one, No Place Like Home, to make sure I'm not. I mean, you're always gonna. My opinions don't change, but there's a crossover where you go, is this the exact same bit, just with a few different words?
Nouns?
Caught myself a couple times.
On the tour, you were noticing that. We're like,
yeah, but I can't remember exactly, so I've listened to three. I caught myself a few times going, all right, that's kind of the same bit from this, but worked backwards. And I'm like, fuck, that's my favorite bit, but I just got to change a few references. At some point, as I've said, you can't be Bill Maher coming up with a new opinion about every fucking thing and still be authentic. I don't have opinions about a lot of shit.
And then after you've gone through I think I've done this bit, you'll then transition into waking up and going, wait, I think Attell did that bit. And, wait, isn't that a birth thing? Like, because
That's the great thing is I will never be brilliant like Attell.
Oh, right.
I got my dumb opinions. And eventually I'm going to have to do new shit. Like, I've thought about getting sober for a year just because I need the material.
Oh.
What kind of material would you get out of being sober?
God knows, but
Grumpy.
It's something I haven't done.
100% new employees. I got nervous saying
no
that.
employees. I'll do it all myself. Sitting
Did
here
I
like
fire all you last night?
sitting here like a monkey in a helmet trying to figure out how to use podcast equipment. I'll do it myself. I don't need these people.
Obviously obese as well, because if you stop drinking, then you start eating. So
Oh, yeah.
No, it's smoking. Yeah, you can get all your calories from
that-
alcohol.
Tracy and I, when we were driving back from Florida, we were listening to numerous podcasts, and one of them was Bert with Brendan Walsh and Nick Thune. They were talking about what's it called?
Sober October.
Sober Octobert.
Yes.
And it's not the same as what you do, because Tracy and I were discussing this. It's you want to stop smoking.
Yeah.
You don't want to quit drinking. You refined your drinking when we did 30 Days in the Hole.
It may be
you
a
became a
way better alcohol.
way better, and an appreciation of fucking good bartenders.
We've been doing whiskey sours with the egg whites the way they're
We're out of egg
supposed to
whites,
be.
by the way. I should probably
Bought
text
more
Trace.
today.
Okay,
Don't
good.
worry. On top of it.
But it's not the same thing. You don't like smoking and hacking up and all that stuff, and you want to try and cut back at
It is
least.
after listening to those 3 specials, I realized my guttural, wet Val Kilmer tombstone cough is my catchphrase. I just don't know how to put it on a T-shirt.
The wiggly phlegm in the back of your throat is your get her done.
It's it's brutal.
Eat my shorts. I can hear that sometimes when I'm listening to the podcast or editing. I can hear that. I can hear the back of Doug's throat with that punching bag thing.
Yeah.
But I know there's like 6 more that are all phlegm. And they're all just like flapping around.
Yeah. So when I did quit smoking that time during 30 Days in the Hole, it was about 4 days before my cough was gone.
It doesn't take long. The body is resilient like that, where you just need to give it that space.
I know, but Hennigan doesn't give it that space.
What?
Yeah, I thought, hey, maybe I'll do that this week. Just like take a week off. Hennigan's been here every goddamn night.
I'm focused.
You also
Focused on
had
taking up the
football
guest
the
house.
last 2 nights.
I know.
So that's not Hennigan's fault. Hennigan, did you schedule football?
Yeah, I did.
Jesus.
I instructed the NFL. I could see a way out of their hole.
When I used to work in bands, I played for years in bar bands, and smoking was allowed everywhere. And I remember I never go to a doctor because I was a fucking guy in a band. Someone else knows what's wrong, or they'll tell you. And I went, and the doctor was doing the stethoscope and I'm breathing and stuff like that. And he's like, how much do you smoke? And I go, I don't smoke. And he goes, what? And he goes, your lungs, they sound like a light smoker. And I go, I'm working a bar like for the past 5-6 years, and I play in a bar 5 nights a week. And he goes, yeah, that's not good for you. It's like basically I had the breathing of a light, like a couple cigarettes a day. You know, maybe if I drink, maybe more. And it was. But as soon as I got out of the bar, that cleared up. And,
I remember when I was young, starting out on the road. I remember it was Seattle specifically where I noticed that I had a cough like my mother's when I was like 26 years old. And I was hacking. My brother, when he smoked at that age, had these hacks. And I realized it stopped because we were smoking generics.
oh,
And I had this, like, 26 years old, I had this hacking hard cough
like that donkey bray.
because I was smoking generic cigarettes. And you could tell the difference where you're like, oh. I remember my mother, when we grew up, generics just the same as the good brands. And there's still part of me. All right, let's go through this. Generic where you go, no, it's not as good. And toilet paper is the first thing I realized. No. It was a huge difference. Elbow macaroni, fine. Yeah. The top brand of elbow macaroni versus generic is fine. Toilet paper, no. I don't even know if they still sell generic cigarettes. I'm just trying to think of things. I was thinking of this in Safeway, because that's what I do in my off time, is hang around Safeway, slowly going up and down the aisles. I'm just trying to think, Bingo, of things where you go, okay, there is a huge difference. Do not get the cheap brand of that. Fucking peanut butter I bought the other day. And it said old-fashioned peanut butter, and it was store brand. And I forget, that means there's an inch of oil floating on the top, and you have to scrape that and stir it, but it's right up to the top. So I spilled fucking oil all over the kitchen, and then I started fucking smashing the shit in the sink, shaking it, and fucking my hands smell like peanut butter, the same way when you finger an awkward woman and you can't bleach that stink out of your hand.
I think old-fashioned peanut butter refers to there not being a bunch of like sugar added, and I think it's usually just peanuts, a little bit of salt, and like one other ingredient.
I never eat peanut
but it
butter.
it separates, and that's what you're talking about. And yeah, they don't leave any fucking room at the top, and then you dump enough of that oil out, and then you've got nothing but paste.
No. What you do is...
He's from Britain, where they don't have the kind that doesn't separate.
No, I never ate peanut butter until I came to the States. So, what you do is when you buy your peanut butter and you open it, you turn it upside down and put it in the fridge.
It's already too many steps for Mr.
First of all,
Stanhope.
it's too late by the time you go, I need to eat a peanut butter and jelly English muffin so I can drink, because everything else seems disgusting. And then you open it up and you're immediately pissed, and then you spray in fucking peanut butter oil.
Give you a
all
solution.
No, I remember that now, and that's what I would do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's not gonna do that. He wants to come home and eat the English muffin and the jelly and the peanut butter right then.
Well, you should buy like a little box, a full box of the Justin's own brand or Justin's peanut butter pouches that are perfectly like one-size containers.
Like a little, like a ketchup packet, but it's for peanut butter.
But only Justin's makes them. And Justin's,
How the fuck did we get off on shopping tips?
I'm just saying, we know a lot. We know about a lot of things.
I know, but where were we? When
You're smoking.
Smoking.
Yeah. Or you're in generic products.
My dad came out to come on the road with me.
Your dad?
Yeah, that's when I noticed my hack, because my dad hated the fact I smoked cigarettes.
Wait, I never knew your dad ever went on the road with you.
Oh yeah, he went on a couple times. We took the train cross country once.
What? Third book, Digging Up Father.
Yeah, me and Wiley Roberts had my dad on stage.
What?
Doing improv, because we do like improv things at the end of the show back in Tribble Gig days, back in my mid-20s. And my dad came out to Montana for Christmas, and I was working with Wiley Roberts. And
again, Wiley Roberts. Fucking hell.
A second story.
Yeah, that story kind of kicks off the book. It's an awkward transition, but it wrapped up the days.
That was my first belly laugh in the book.
It's a great story.
My dad and I, fuck you if I've told this before. I've told every story.
I don't think you have.
Times in real life, but one time, my dad, when he was on the road that Christmas time, we're coming from somewhere in Wyoming, going up to Idaho or something. It was a 2-lane. You take this fucked up 2-lane, and a snowstorm is coming in, and it's just, there's no one out there. These are roads that no one drives down, and the snow comes down, and piece of shit car, and he goes, oh, geez, Guy, what would you do if you ever broke down out here? I go, I don't know. That's where I always call you. So yeah, he did some improv. it was easily fed to him so he could figure it out.
Yeah.
And just a couple of beats.
He's seen the Honeymooners. He could figure it out.
But there was the one time that one of those trips. Oh, it was OJ. One of the nights of that Northwest tour, we were in Portland or Seattle or Tacoma somewhere, and the OJ Bronco chase is live on TV when I have to go up and do the show. Back in the days where no one wanted to see the show. That's what they had is comedy night tonight. But everyone's watching the OJ chase and they're going to have to shut it off for fucking comedy and everyone's going to hate you for doing comedy no matter how funny you are. They want to watch the OJ chase. We went to Olympic National Forest. Have you been, Chaille? Because you lived up.
No, that's on the western part of Washington.
Yeah. It's the most lush green, where the trees themselves are green. The bark is green moss. It's like vivid green. And Dad's a nature guide. We're gonna go, and he has a little backpack, and he walks. He walks kind of like a cartoon of Tom Konopka's walk, which is cartoonish in itself, but it's an old fat man walk, and
like a waddling.
Yeah, we're walking through this Olympic National Forest, which is
Huge.
beautiful. And my dad's all happy in nature as he liked to be. And then we're walking. I see Alfredo Triferis, who looks just like Dr. Drew, but back then it was before Dr. Drew.
Who is this?
He's a comic I started open mic with. Who's hiking the same very empty path.
What?
Happens to be two hikers we're stumbling upon. And as we're coming up behind them, I realized this is a guy I started open mic with in Vegas, haven't seen in years. And I go, that's definitely him. And I just ran up and I turned him around and grabbed his face and kissed him on the lips. And my dad, who knows that, like, I'll go in and fuck with waitresses for fun and just, be always on as you were back then as a kid. He thought I was just randomly kissing men in the forest, and he starts to run as fast as an old fat man can waddle. Like I saw nothing, just running ahead of me. And I had to call him back. Dad, it's okay. This is my friend. I know him in the weirdest place you could ever run into an old friend. And you just saw him just sigh of relief that his gut sucked in 20 inches because he's holding all that embarrassment in. Hi.
With a cartoonish, oh, Doug.
But yeah, I had that fucking hack back then. Smoking.
That is the something I've noticed, which is you don't think about your parents until you notice something, if they're dead. Until you notice something about your behavior and you go, oh fuck, that sounds exactly like my mum or dad. And I noticed that when I'm ill and I have a cough, it is exactly my dad's cough. And the first time I noticed it, it genuinely freaked me the fuck out. It's like, I haven't heard that cough since my dad. The exact tenor and length and everything.
I always fight with myself about that kind of shit, where just like astrology, where it says I'm a born traveler. Well, who doesn't? Like, am I looking for the hereditary thing, or how much of hereditary is bullshit? Everyone has something in common with someone.
Sure.
You go, oh no, my mother used to do that.
Does it turn out that 99% of the people have that same character trait? You just don't know.
Or you just find the one that lines up and goes, see, it's hereditary.
Yeah. No, but it's just the fact that I was literally shocked by it when I heard it. I was like, oh my God. It wasn't like I was looking for it. It was like, oh, holy shit, that's exactly his fucking cough. I didn't like my dad, so it wasn't like something I was looking for.
You don't like anyone.
I'm partial to some people.
I started this with 3 beers. I'm not a beer drinker much anymore, but I started, well, it's early, so I started with 3 beers, and now I have to piss, so we're taking a break. Please hold. We'll probably throw a commercial in here.
Let's talk about Blue Apron.
Chaille having Blue Apron dinner for breakfast?
Hey,
you just said you had Blue Apron
with
for
Blue
breakfast.
Apron, you can decide when you want to cook it. And I actually got behind. I did the crispy buttermilk catfish earlier in the week and the sweet potato tempura. What is that? Is it bao? B-A-O? It's a little steamed bun. Bao. Yeah, the sweet potato tempura bao, which Doug.
You pronounce it however it should be pronounced, because if I hear you say pho one more time for pho, P-H-O.
Pho, though.
Yeah, it's in Vietnam, but you're not on that trip. You're on the American trip. You pronounce it the way an American would pronounce it, and if you take a knee during it, I'll accept it.
But it is bao.
Bao.
Thank you. Bao. That's a really good one. That was a tempura bao, which is the you know, we go to get tempura. Sometimes we get that dial of sweet potato that's deep fried in tempura.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was in a bao, which is basically just a steamed taco is what it is. A steamed dough taco. You would like that one. But the one I did this morning was for breakfast was spicy poblano and mushroom quesadillas with romaine and avocado salad. It was delicious. No salad dressing. It was lime juice. Who'd have fucking thought?
Sometimes. You know what I ate last night? It was not Blue Apron, but it was swordfish. Because I was being weird and I'm going back on the road and I think maybe I won't see the end of this trip. Maybe I'll be dead. Like Ralphie May. What would Ralphie May eat?
Everything.
When I was a kid, we ate swordfish. And you know what you use for a condiment? Lemon juice. So I see, yes. Lime juice. I can see where it's a condiment.
It was actually really good. In fact, I still have more because the portions, they're supposed to be for 2 and we always have extra. So, and that's
why they feed the homeless at Chaille's. Can I give out your address?
Hey, this October, Blue Apron is celebrating 5 years in bringing the food right to your door.
Podcasts are only 5 years old? I thought Blue Apron actually invented itself because podcasts could sell them.
There's a new medium. How do we start a business to get on it?
You know what I want to do is I want to start a program of mailboxes that are ovens. So if your mail comes at 10:30 in the morning, you can have it set so Blue Apron is done by the time you get.
Oh.
I get it. If it's an early delivery, you go low and slow. That's your setting. And if it's a late delivery, then you do the hot one.
Right.
You know, yeah. Quick.
By the way, with your low and slow, I think that's your shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
Here comes Chaille.
Low and slow. Hey, they're actually pulling 20 of the most popular recipes.
Recall?
No, of the
Ptomaine?
No.
Sorry.
They're pulling the most popular recipes from the last 5 years, and they're the top 20.
And redoing them. They're not pulling
bringing them out. Because with Blue Apron, they don't repeat one recipe for the entire year. So you won't get the same thing over and over again.
I want to see if Blue Apron, if they really love our podcast as much as they say they do, because you, the listener, support Blue Apron. How about this, Blue Apron? How about this? Give us a string of your best podcasters doing their recipes. That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Well, let it float. Let it.
Yeah.
And you know what, listeners? If you're Blue Apron people, tweet at Blue Apron. Let whoever, Bert Kreischer, whoever carries Blue Apron as a sponsor, let us write a recipe. Because they're going to be running out if they don't repeat them. They're going to need us. They're going to need a writer's room.
Yeah, they're drunk. There's just a bunch of fucking cook monkeys with typewriters.
Cook monkeys. I thought those were monkeys from the Cook Islands. I totally misread
If Betty
that.
Crocker were alive, she might be suing. That's my recipe. No one remembers me.
Actually, if you go to blueapron.com/Stanhope, you can click on all-time customer favorites, and you can check out some of the all-time favorite recipes right there at blueapron.com/Stanhope.
Thank you. Shall I read a call to action?
Well, Doug,
That's what the listeners wait for, is the call to action.
I do have to remind
Tell
everyone
us what to do.
there's plenty of
That's the fact, Jack. You can't leave the listeners doing their own boot camp like Stripes.
That'd be too easy. What, easy? You mean like each meal comes with a step-by-step, easy-to-follow recipe card and pre-proportioned ingredients that can be prepared in 40 minutes or less? Wait a minute!
What?
They actually have recipes, when you pick them online, that are 30 minutes or less.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do my 30 days in the hole, my next one, when Bert Kreischer is on the road, and I'm gonna go cook blue aprons for his wife.
And that is a euphemism.
When you listen to his podcast, his wife gets so saucy in the undercarriage when she talks about Blue Apron that I know I
think
it's
a big time saver for her. They got 2 kids and Bert.
Or I have 2 kids. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I
I can have all 3 of them calling me daddy within 30 days.
so not only would the box of food arrive weekly, but then now you're going to be preparing it. That's a win-win.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't see how she could say no to that. Well, once he's on the road.
You know what? No means yes in the Harvey Weinstein world of Hollywood where they live.
Blue Apron's freshness guarantee promises that every ingredient in your delivery arrives ready to cook or they'll make it right. In fact, I'm waiting for this week's recipes. We've got penne pasta and delicata squash. I'm looking at you, Hennigan. Delicata squash seems like it should be in your
I'm not a big one on the
smartphone
Every
magazine.
squash. I like every squash. I've never met a squash I didn't like.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, I'll take a summer squash, a Mexican gray squash, and a zucchini and steam them up together. But for that, I have to go all the way to the goddamn store, and then I have to deal with Sherry in lane 4 and all her gossip. Blue Apron, all the food, none of the fucking back talk.
None of the sherry. Smoked Gouda and mushroom flatbread with kale and apple salad. And also, this one looks good. Spicy sesame lo mein with broccoli and turnips, which I don't...
Turnips?
I can't remember the last time I ate a
Jesus,
turnip.
what does Blue Apron have kids they hate? Do they have stepchildren? You finished that. Who eats a goddamn turnip? I love you, Blue Apron, but a turnip...
Maybe you're bored with rutabaga.
Rutabaga is at least fun to say.
Is a rutabaga like a carrot?
It's basically the same as a turnip.
Is a turnip? Is a turnip like a carrot?
Hurts more when you pull it out of your ass.
It's bulbous at the end.
In Scotland, we call them neeps.
Neeps? All right.
We only have 4 vegetables.
Hey, do you know that over the past 5 years, Blue Apron has created over 1,000 recipes? Yeah.
Yeah?
You didn't know that?
No, I did not know that.
All right.
Say that again.
Blue Apron has created over 1,000 recipes. What have you done?
I'm just
You
saying
got
that
me booked in Tallahassee
it's a great town.
and a gas station, I think it was.
Didn't you just say that they never repeat a recipe?
Within a year.
Okay.
And
I see.
Then they create recipes.
All right, listen,
Because-
don't be the skeptic here.
all right,
I'm already
okay.
doing that.
Yeah,
enough.
like, let's get going.
Blue Apron. What do they get?
Hey, Doug, read that. While you're reading that, I'll just remind everyone that Blue Apron offers these for under $10 a meal. That's the way to go.
Check out this week's menu and get $30 off your first meal with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/Stanhope. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. You're dead at the end. Life is a finite commodity. Blue Apron right now, blueapron.com/Stanhope.
You always read that part, the second one, where like a romance novel.
Sexy. Sexy.
Like there's
sexy
like those parentheses that says breathy
and saliva-ish.
saliva-ish.
I have my mouth is running wet. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. I hope you enjoyed the commercials because Hennigan and I were supposed to be staying at the airport in Tucson so I could fly out tomorrow. I'm still flying out tomorrow, but we couldn't imagine doing this podcast sober. So instead of staying overnight at the airport hotel, we stayed here and got drunk for this podcast. And then I realized, oh shit, my connection in Atlanta is like 35 minutes. Atlanta, the biggest airport in America, and I have 35 minutes. They're already boarding 40 minutes out. So if I have to get one of those fucking trams from T gates to A gates, so what now I have to go back drunk and pack a throwaway. I'm packing a thrift store throwaway checked bag full of shit I was going to give to the thrift store anyway. Because if you check a bag, you know when you're in the airport and you hear, Mr. O'Neill, Vincent O'Neill, your flight is leaving from C-28 to Reno. Vincent O'Neill. And you keep hearing that. You're sitting at a bar. You're like, if I'm late for a flight, they fucking don't call my name. They just ditch me. And you picture this Vincent fucking, I just realized Vince O'Neill is like, that's a Motley Crue guy.
Vince Neil,
anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, the point being, you hear that, you know why they're calling for him? Because that guy checked a bag. If we haven't told you on this podcast, all of our secret travel tips, check a bag. Because that way, if you're late, if you're not on the flight, they have to go back in and rummage through the underguts of that fucking airplane and pull your bag out. And they'd rather just go, Vincent O'Neill, we're still calling.
That's
so.
Yeah. Also, I've been doing that for a long time as well. And one of the reasons is that when you go through the TSA thing, and I have still as yet to go through one of the full-on X-ray machines.
Yeah.
And
you still opt out?
Yep.
And you get the pat down?
Yep. And every time, because when I pack, I checked a bag, and it means that one of the little emotional things you could miss your flight because they've actually said that to me. And I because I'm waiting, and I always say, I don't think so, because I've checked a bag. And the look on their faces when you say that to them, they're so like, oh shit. In that case,
you took away their superpower.
Yeah, exactly. I removed their superpower. Yeah. Good point, Chaille. Low but slow.
We just learned something on the road. We're listening to some, I don't know if it's Skeptoid. It's not Skeptoid, but one of those podcasts where they told you tricks about travel. Mm-hmm. When you check into a hotel, they can't throw you out. So
yeah.
This is a good one.
They have to get the police.
No. If you go, I'm going to extend my stay.
And they go, I'm sorry, we're booked, but you're still in the room.
That's why they have on the back of every hotel door, the going rate, which is usually way higher
exorbitant,
than
$300.
But they have to stick to that. If they let you check in, so if you go, it's sold out I'm going to see Guns N' Roses on Tuesday, and the hotel is sold out, but Monday is open, you can get in that room and then say, no, I need it for another night, and they can't toss you out legally.
But they'll they can charge you the posted rate on the back of the door.
So who told you that?
It was on
I can't remember which one it was.
It was a podcast that's way more credible than ours. It was one of those, here's some secret shit you didn't know. What's that podcast you always listen to?
Well, there's a bunch I listen to.
All right, but it's one of those.
There's very few I subject you to, though. That's what's intriguing to me. But yeah, if you're going to pass this on, listeners, don't say you heard it on the Doug Stanhope podcast.
Yeah,
tell them you heard it on stuff you missed in travel class.
The one thing which I do wish more people knew about.
Invisible, 99% invisible. Is it
That's
one?
Not that. No.
The one thing
Roman Mars. That's a really good podcast.
This is a secret that I wish wasn't a secret, because if it wasn't a secret, it would be rectified. Which is the reason your fucking plane pulls out of the gate 40 minutes, and then sits on the tarmac for 40 minutes, is that punctuality statistics are based on when the plane leaves the gate. That's why they do that.
Oh, and they also pad it where you say when you book the flight, it says it's 2 hours and 27 minutes, and then you sit down and they go, "Oh, we're gonna take off for Atlanta right now. Arrival time estimated to be flight time 1 hour and 56 minutes." Well, it said 2 hours and 27 minutes when I booked it.
Sure, but
his point is the reason the airlines can crow about on-time ratings is because they've got a way to fudge it.
And that's the same
push
thing.
back.
They say it's a 2 hour and 27 minute flight because
there was a great article not too long ago, which it gets repeated every 3 years, which shows how flight times in the States have not changed since the 1960s. Mm-hmm. Because they now pad so much that they discount all the technological advances that have been made.
They've basically ignored what they could actually take advantage of.
It is no quicker to fly from Chicago to Kansas City than it is to get a train.
I do know this. I will be Delta Diamond Medallion after my next flight tomorrow to Baltimore.
That's a nice alliteration. Delta Diamond Medallion.
Gonna hit my mark early.
If only you were going to Denver, then it'd have been better. But
were we getting me on silver or something, or was it there was no point?
Yeah,
in doing
I
it?
did that, and now I'll get to do that again when I hit platinum.
Oh, that was for 2018.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
you set it up
did
for
that.
2018. Yeah, because I just made a bunch of purchases too on the. But the reason I did it all because it was on a Delta card. And I made sure all my flights were on Delta to add to the MQ, the purchase ones. Yeah.
MQMs,
Yeah.
MQDs.
If you don't know, it doesn't matter. But once you know,
most people
but
here,
once you know and you need to pay attention to those things, it's not hard. It's just you need to pay attention to those things. And I never would have thought that. I would have just taken the cheaper flight.
Most of my listeners are only interested in flying to recreate 9/11.
and not as passengers.
No, he means that you could walk up with your with the people that are leaving right to the gate. The experience in the airport.
They're in some flight school in rural Florida, somewhere outside of Ocala, learning how to
take the stick.
Glider plane. You can't even carry fuel. Why are you going to crash it into the outside of the building? It'll smash like a bug.
I just got into one of those rabbit holes yesterday. The 9/11 stuff. Just, touch back, get a little nostalgic. Yeah. Watching like the videos. Because, I mean, there's
conspiracy videos.
Yeah, but there's still new videos coming out. I mean, people are coming up with new reasons why this is all a conspiracy. And some of them are pretty fucking good, man. I mean, the way that they show just a small, like a 4-foot block of cement and they roll a plane at full speed into it and watch the plane crumble. Like a smashed can on Blotto's head. It's like, wait a minute. That's just 4 feet of concrete. Those planes went through an entire building and out the other side. And then, I haven't seen that stuff, but yeah, you can't spend too long.
I stopped doing that years ago. I mean, some of them are probably right, but it's not my job.
Well, it's like watching fat people falling down videos on YouTube. I mean, you watch it for a little bit, then you move on, get on with your day. Good day.
I've never seen those.
I'm surprised you're not authoring those.
No, I know. I don't
They're
like
hilarious.
fat people.
Yeah.
But, I didn't know that was a thing you could find.
Oh yeah, it's a big one. I'll send you a link.
I had Harvey Weinstein in my notes just because it's in the news, and I have an ex-girlfriend that I remember some creepy shit about Harvey Weinstein, but I don't know.
When it first came out, because I
ain't gonna call her to rehash a conversation after 20 years.
When it first came out, because I really haven't been paying attention, and we obviously don't prepare for any of this, but I thought it was Harvey Fierstein. Seriously, until I saw the picture of the guy, I go, that doesn't look. There's no feather boa on him. I really thought that's who they were talking about. I was like, what? Why is he in trouble?
I think I'm not sure. And Brian left, who'd know. He just walked out to piss. But I think Harvey Fierstein, Fierstein, sorry, Weinstein. I think was his first project, Brian, was it Swingers or something like that? Was that era?
It'd have to be earlier. Sex, Lies,
and Videotape. That's not the one that I knew him from, but that was the...
Goes back. That was Sex, Lies, and Videotape was, what's his name? Well, I was thinking of the guy who was in it.
The guy, Brian's yelling from the urinal.
The point is that Harvey Weinstein
Fierstein
bought and promoted Sex, Lies, and Videotape, and that's why one of the reasons.
He took Hollywood by storm when I had just moved to Hollywood. So I had to know his name because I was pretending to know about shit, and I was dating an actress, and I didn't know, but it was back when all of those independent films. That's when the term independent film got coined.
Yeah.
And I remember this is a great Chris McGuire joke. Chris McGuire, he wrote on The Man Show. He's a great dude, but he had this fucking one joke because back then, like Clerks was huge, and all these films like that were bragging about how they maxed out all their credit cards so they could make it for $75,000.
Robert Townsend type story.
And he goes, then why do they all charge the same price? Which still holds true today. Why is it $12 to see a movie that you only spent $75,000 on when I can go to the next theater? They spent $38 million on the movie. It's the same price, which still holds true. If you spend $200 million on a movie, that should cost more than a fucking low budget movie. What other business does that?
The ticket price should be commensurate to what was spent on
Commensurate? Commiserate.
Commensurate.
Yeah, if we commiserate.
We're commiserate. Yeah.
I disagree.
I think you always.
Of course you
shooting
do.
for that.
That's what you do, you cunt.
But you can.
No, tell us why you disagree.
Well, because the point is that
All comedy shows should be the same price?
Well, to some extent, that is actually true because
you just changed my mind.
Well, it's the same thing because the point of the thing that undermines that alleged point is that the people that sell to the public are not the people who made the movies. They are the distributors of comedy who are the comedy clubs, and they charge the same price every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And it's the same with cinemas, that they're the distributors of films. They're not the people who made the films.
Okay,
And
so remember that, people.
Sorry, forgive me. And let me be very clear about this. It is illegal. This is one of the things that happened in the 40s and 50s. It is illegal for the people who make movies to own a cinema. So therefore, the people who make the movie studios are forbidden from owning cinemas. So they cannot set the prices.
This is all part of monopolies. You can't own.
Yeah, you cannot own
distribution
the
and
distribution
the
of that
manufacturing. But you
sounds like bullshit to me.
Sounds like every ticket price is the same at every single comedy club every weekend throughout the year.
First of all, I don't see where my ill-informed argument goes against monopoly arguments. Like you're saying, payola is illegal, but if my music album costs more to make than fucking John Mayer's, I should be able to charge more. It's not saying I own a record company. This is probably the dumbest conversation in the world to people who know what we're talking about, but fuck them.
I know, but unfortunately, I'm one of them.
That you're saying that I should not be able to charge more.
No, anyone can charge what they want.
On a special event at an improv because they don't charge that on Friday, Saturday when I'm there on a Thursday.
I'm not saying.
Well, that's what you said to me.
No, I didn't.
You took it the other way.
You took it the other way. I
still agree with Doug.
I said nothing of the
other way.
sort.
He has to agree with me.
The other thing is that again, it's the same reason that the distributor of your books, your publisher has no control over, because it's illegal, the sale of your books, and therefore Amazon can sell your book at a loss
if they choose.
If they choose.
See, that's something else I heard that now I'm gonna go real dumb.
Oh, here we go.
Strong underground dumb is if you own a pizza place and I open up a pizza place next to you and I sell pizza for a fucking nickel just to fuck you, that's illegal.
No.
No.
I believe that is.
No.
We'll get our fucking calls and emails from listeners where there's. I remember thinking that as a kid. Well, why can't you do that? If I was like a billionaire and I just wanted to fuck your business, there is a law that says you can't do that just to fuck someone else.
No,
I swear I read that one day.
In 4th grade?
Yeah.
I think the issue becomes
9th grade before
I think the issue is it
mercenary.
depends on the scale of the business. If you are Starbucks moving into a small town and wanting to put the local thing out of business, then that's illegal. If you are Mr. A looking to compete against Mr. B, you're allowed to do that.
Monopoly really revolves around me talking to you, and you're a separate business owner and saying, hey, let's charge this for a slice of pizza.
That's Monopoly,
Monopoly.
but that's collusion. That was that movie. That was a fucking great, weird movie with William H. Macy, and it's like about soybeans or some shit. It's not soybeans, but something like that, where he colluded with all the other people to raise the prices and fuck everyone.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
what
then-
happens in pharmaceuticals.
Oh, and then he became
Stocks.
like, come on, you got to remember this movie.
No, keep giving details so everyone goes crazy.
Hennigan
yelling
remembers
at the
this
podcast.
Yeah,
machine.
everyone's like us yelling at the fucking dashboard of their car. It's a very independent movie that Harvey Weinstein probably produced and fucked all the co-stars.
Allegedly.
Where maybe it's not William H. Macy, but it might be Matt Damon.
Oh.
I think it's Matt Damon. And
3
so he
Degrees
goes
Harvey.
undercover for the feds, and he's a ridiculous stooge.
Yes, you're right.
All right.
Yeah, it was Matt Damon.
It was Matt Damon.
Hennigan is plunking away,
Yeah.
looking
right.
it up.
Dude. Hey,
I like the idea of like giving just just enough details, but like keep going to where people going fucking crazy in the car.
let me go crash
The Informant.
The Informant.
Oh yeah,
See?
I remember that, and that was Damon,
It's a
right?
fucking great movie.
It'd be funny if I had gone, excuse me. The answer is, of course, The Martian.
Trying to get a lock on those potatoes.
Yeah.
Potato futures on Mars.
He had an entire monopoly on the potatoes of Mars.
And look what happened there.
Yeah, exactly. Government bailed him out.
Government bailed him out.
Yeah.
Science.
Thanks, Obama.
Let's drop our prices to a nickel at the All Things Comedy Podcast Comedy Festival in Phoenix. Ticket prices, we'll drop them to a nickel and see. We need lawyers involved. All right, my ideas
All right.
don't get so good after.
We're not the distributor of those tickets.
And we also can't talk about it.
Yep. Hey, if you're traveling between Baltimore, Austin, Chicago, Philadelphia, Portland, San Francisco, Seattle, DC, I might have forgot one in there.
Philly.
And you're traveling on Delta, look for hashtag airport pub crawl. Problem is, a lot of those flights are several hours before the shows I'm going to play. So if I'm a bit fucked
You are
up-
doing Delta the whole time?
Yep.
So, best bet on a fly day would be the closest actual bar
Yeah, the Sky Lounge went
to the Delta on the Delta concourse.
Yeah.
And you know where he's going. It's not before noon.
Let me look at my notes. Oh shit. Okay. At the our podcast, our live podcast, we're going to be at
October 26th at the
through
Orpheum
29th.
Theater.
So that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Different people are coming in every day. I don't know who's staying for what, but I know we kick it off on the 26th. You go through allthingscomedy.com, I assume.
Allthingscomedy.com for tickets.
tickets.
Also, there's comedy shows that you can buy tickets to as well.
So here's the thing is this festival has never happened before. So when you go to Montreal or when you used to go to Aspen, or you know where to hang out afterwards, where everyone's going to go. Nobody knows where they're going to fucking go here. We have all these comics, Bill Burr, Kreischer, fucking Al Madrigal. All these comics are coming in to do their podcasts and or comedy sets. We're going to be there first. So we're going to decide where in downtown Phoenix is the place to hang out. So follow us on Twitter at Ggreg Chaille, at Brian Hennigan, at Doug Stanhope, at Chad Shank is going to be there. We got everyone coming out. Mishka might be coming out with Amy Dresner.
No. You bring up a really good point. Recon. We're going to be there for Recon.
Yeah, we're the point man on this motherfucker.
And we're going to have a separate area to do podcasts for ourselves, but we're also going to need a watering hole. And the only way that's going to come about is through Twitter.
All right.
We're going to do it.
First of all,
how come we can't
Jamie Kilstein is our guest, and he's, this is going to be so much fucking fun because the arc of Kilstein's career from the fucking Rogan beatdown to the social justice warrior to the, anti-social justice warrior. And Hennigan was right. We need a female comic on that panel. So we have Murphy has agreed to do it. Might have others. Got to make it fair and balanced, as they say, which means, we're going to fuck with it. But I'm not going to heave him under the rails by any chance. But
well, you have a history
we have a history. Yeah. From Jamie Kilstein sleeping on my floor as an accidental opener, a dozen years ago, at least in Baltimore. But Kreischer, I think, is going to come on and do part of the podcast. Oh. Then the next day, I'm going to do some fucked up thing on his podcast. But the point is, we're going to be hanging out. Yeah. It's not just sitting and listening to podcasts. There's going to be comedy, hanging out after, and we're going to be the point men to tell everyone as they come in later, oh, this is where you go. This is that's my plan.
Becker and John and I.
And Marilyn Manson.
What?
If he's not dead he's playing Phoenix the night we do our podcast.
That might got canceled.
He's not answering no, he only canceled 9 dates I looked at. Yeah, well, the last I looked.
That's
no, since his
PR lady woke him awake and said, hey, that fucking stunt didn't really clear the fucking insurance barrier.
Anyway, he's not answering my calls, but he's I live during human hours. He wakes up at 11 p.m. So, and maybe Amy Dresner. So I guess we never get to fucking Harvey Weinstein. Who gives a fuck?
That got us to where we're at now, so that's fine.
And on the road, Austin, I got White Cotton.
Jay White Cotton.
Yep, opening. Andy Andrist will be on the Portland dates and the Seattle date. There's been an extra Portland date added. The first one sold out, so 23rd, we did add a second
23rd
one.
Is sold out. You can't buy tickets to that, but the 24th tickets are available.
Erickson is coming to San Francisco. You, Chaille, may be coming to San Francisco. No. You definitely are.
Wait, hold on.
Anyway.
Erickson's going to be there? He's opening?
Yeah. And Fat Mike from NoFX. I said, I don't know if you're in San Francisco when I'm playing there. And he said, fuck yeah. So I hate to ask, hey, you want to do a podcast? But I will.
All right.
Fucking NoFX, Fat Mike. He'll be hanging out. If we're too fucked up to do a podcast. Yeah. We're going to close out the year strong. And then finish strong with some healthy activities, like maybe 30 days plugging a book. All right, Brian Hennigan.
No, we have to do
what do we got?
Draft. We just got done with Monday Night Football.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Draft.com. Chomp your thing. That's good. What are we just going to, week 6? Week 5?
I swear I was hammered the other night when I finally cleared up my phone so I could get the app on it. So I did one. I lost miserably, but I thought I did a lot. So I am getting people who are on draft.com that are challenging me to things.
I keep doing it. You go to mine is a Stanhope podcast. Doug's is
Stanhope,
and then Castle Rock Kenny is I think Castle Rock. And you just invite us, and we'll get to it when we can. We'll probably do auto pick, but I got fucking creamed.
Yeah, I really want to do more research. Sometimes I just get panicked, or the person isn't there, so it auto picks me. But
I was in 11 drafts for week 5.
Holy shit.
My money went down from $58. I'm at 15. I won basically for the entire week 5. All those fucking drafts, 11, $3.60. Some guy suckered me into a $20 draft head to head, and he fucking creamed me. I mean, I was like 30 points to his 80 something. So, but it's fun. I had a
it makes
blast.
you do some research.
Yes. Yeah. What, you know what happened was one of my guys got yanked early in the game. So his points were nothing. So basically it was like me going with less players. Me going with 4 instead of 5.
You get all the Giants receivers, 3 fucking wide receivers go out in one game.
That was crazy. No, probably not.
I hope the Texans play the Giants because they lost 2 of their monster linebackers, J.J. Watt and fucking Whitney Merciless.
Is that a name?
Yeah, Merciless. There's so many great names in football that are close to Merciless, Perfect. I think he's out too. A lot of people would. Anyway.
That's what's the beauty of this. If you go to draft.com or you can go to your app store and do a search for draft, you'll get the program or the app loaded in there, and they take care of all the work. It's so quick. You just go in there, pick, you challenge someone. If you get it on the app, that's the only way to do it. You do it on your phone, and that's the best way because you go head to head with people. Or if you get it, go to playdraft.com and get it on your computer.
I don't want to get into some Cam Newton kind of shit, but this is fantasy football your girlfriend can play.
Exactly. Then you said that in the last podcast, and when I was editing, I'm like, this is really good.
Yeah, but that was
angle.
before Cam Newton got.
No.
Oh my God. It's just so, it's cute to hear a girl talk about running routes. Well, it is for us here at the FunHouse. When a girl shows up and knows football, like your wife, Tracy, has to explain hockey to us.
Dude,
like we're fucking children, and I love it. And I think it's funny that we're fucking retarded.
She follows sports more closely. I mean, I don't really care. I care when I bet. That's when I pay attention, but she does. She picks up on stuff and she knows how she can get that cadence of what's happening in football, baseball, hockey. But honestly, she's even in on this. I think, is it hers Egg Lester? I think she's Egg Lester. So you got to challenge her too. It's quick to join and it's quick to play, and you don't have to sit around and go over stats or anything like that. And all the heavy lifting is done by draft. They'll take care of it. You don't have to worry about who's injured or whatever. You just go ahead and pick what's there. And if you don't know, just do auto pick.
Yep, I'm going to be on the road. I got my Sundays off. So, yeah.
On purpose.
I'll probably be hanging around in your town the day before or after my show on a Sunday. And if you want to try to play me at fantasy football, come join me at Draft today. Download the app anytime. Just search Draft in your app store and join a game in minutes or play right from your computer on playdraft.com. Whatever you want. For a limited time only, all new players get a free entry into a draft when you make your first deposit. But you have to use my promo code, Doug. That's right. That's right. Play a real money game for free just using my promo code Doug on your first deposit on draft. Just search draft. Come on. Can we talk to the draft people? They make me read the 3 things. They're the same. Just search draft in the app store or go to playdraft.com and come play free with promo code Doug. This is what Chaille highlights. This is, if I just read what was highlighted by Chaille, it would say, use my promo code Doug, my promo code Doug on promo code Doug. That's what you highlighted.
Oh,
chicken in my sleep. Just play, take 2 Xanax, play chicken in my sleep. All right.
You have any thank yous?
No, the only thank you I can remember is someone sent Tom Konopka a wooden box that's about
I saw that.
3 foot by 4 foot, hammered shut. It looks like it contains military.
It looked like
arsenal of.
It looked like if you were going to transport something from a museum to another museum in the 1920s.
What's that big word for munitions?
Munitions?
I know, but this is quite a big word.
No, it's a good word. When fuck it. Don't worry. This is going to be the podcast.
Ammo?
No, not arsenal. It's goddamn.
You need more knowledge. Have another drink. What are you trying to say?
There's a fucking cool big inside word for munitions. It's you find unexploded
Ordnance.
ordnance. Fucking Chaille. All right, that's the end of the podcast. Ordnance. It looks like ordnance, and he got it 2 days ago, and he's still afraid because you need a drill to unfucking.
I'll open that fucker.
I know. Well, we're gonna wait till we see Tom.
Be full of sawdust too, which means ordnance.
Ordnance. Good work. All right.
That's a fun game.